my name is Dan. I used to work at the biggest dealership in the country. Now I teach fine folks like you how not to get fucked when you're buying a car. Actually, in this video, I want to talk to you about a video that I saw. Not gonna name a name, not gonna tell you who it was, okay? But the video was about why is it so difficult to make a good quality car for, reasonable amount of money. I cannot even start, oh my God, I am so fucking pissed. This is like, I don't know how many times I've been trying to make this. I'm so pissed. I was so angry when I was watching his video. It was abso-fucking-lutely insane. And that guy, I mean, he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I mean, God knows how many millions of views. I mean, that guy is a professional car vlogger, blogger, YouTuber, okay? And that's why I cannot stand people who make car videos, because they have absolutely fucking no idea what they're talking about. It's like as if their brain has been literally cut off from the logical, from the logical sense of the universe. It's like they have no logical thinking at all. Okay, let's start with this. Let's just fucking start this. So he said that customers want everything and they want to pay nothing. That is not true. That simply is a lie. An average car that's being sold in America is being sold for $35,000 fucking dollars. All right, $35,000. So we are willing to pay $35,000 on average, but when you consider that a lot of cars are actually being sold for $50,000 and $60,000 and $70,000 and even $100,000, and I'm not talking about some Lamborghinis or bullshit like that. I'm talking about trucks. The trucks are $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. How much is a good SUV? $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. I mean, a minivan, a fully equipped minivan is going to be $53,000, $55,000. I'm talking about Toyota Sienna. It's the only minivan to buy. We are willing to pay good amount of money. Now give us the good car. Don't give us shit. Now, something else that this person said, I will literally fucking quote you. We want the Ferrari Prestige with McLaren engineering packaged into a minivan interior with SUV body with the Honda Civic miles to a gallon fuel economy for $28,000. That is not true. Nobody's asking for Ferrari fucking Prestige. Nobody's asking for McLaren engineering. Literally nobody out of regular people that are making, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, nobody's even thinking about buying Ferraris. Nobody's even thinking about stupid ass fucking McLarens. Nobody is thinking about that. What we want as customers, we want an SUV, 5-seater or an 8-seater that's getting 45, 55 miles to a gallon. Oh, Dan, whoa, that sounds crazy. It's not crazy, it's possible. Whew, I'm running ahead of myself. I'll touch on that subject a little later in the video. That's possible. It's fucking possible. We're not asking for anything crazy. We're asking for features that are very easy to implement. Next thing he said, needs versus wants. And this is where it blew my fucking mind, how he was making excuses for car manufacturers because he spoke to some kind of an engineer in a company I'm not gonna name. He spoke to one of the designers or engineers for a car manufacturer, and that car manufacturer engineer or a designer, whoever it was telling him and crying onto his shoulder how difficult it is to make a good quality car. How hard it was to implement all the technological features in a car. It's so hard to put 5-6 cameras for 360-degree view. It's so hard to put heated seats on every car. It's so hard to put cooled seats on every car. It's so hard. We don't know how to do it. It's so goddamn fucking hard to put collision prevention systems on every single car. It's not fucking hard. It's not hard, nor it's expensive. We're not asking for fucking spaceships. We're asking for 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 standard features that should be standard on every single fucking car. Let me give you some examples. Number 1, 360-degree camera. It is very cheap to implement. It's cheap as fucking cameras. It's not your state-of-the-art, cell phone cameras. It's cheap as, 480, 720 at max. It's like 480. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's really cheap ass cameras. Really. It's the same fucking cameras your dad has on his fucking camera. It's very poor quality. We're not getting amazing cameras as a backup camera or 360-degree cameras. Very fucking cheap. Number 2, cooled and heated everything. Cooled and heated seats, heated steering wheel, and heated side mirrors. Again, it's not a technological fucking advancement. It's very cheap to implement that shit. Next, we need collision prevention system on all cars and all fucking models. It's not expensive to put that shit in. It's not expensive. It should not cost us $1,000 fucking dollars, so somebody who is either older or somebody who is a younger driver will not fucking die. Really? How is this even a thing? That it's not a standard feature. It blows my fucking mind. When that technology was invented in 1950s, in 1950s. Did you know that backup cameras were invented in 1950s, as well as heated and cooled seats were invented in 1950s also? That's not it. That's not it. On top of that, the guy that invented cooled and heated fucking seats was working in GM. He was working in GM. He wasn't like some kind of random fucking farmer or random guy, crazy dude in a garage, and he had some hard time to persuade the car manufacturing world that people will need heated and cooled seats. No. He offered that option, and GM told him, fuck you, nobody's gonna need this. We don't want it on our cars. We just don't want it. Bye. Get out of here. We don't want it. And I don't think people would want that. Do you know that airbags were also invented in 1950s? The reason that so much shit was invented in 1950s is because the World War II was over and there was economic boom, and whenever there's an economic boom, things get better. Shit gets invented. Whenever people have spare money and spare time, they get their minds working, they invent shit. That's why Venezuela and fucking Russia and North Korea are not very well known for inventing shit. Next, what do we want? Remote start on cars. It's not that expensive to put remote starts on all cars. It really isn't. If I can do it myself for $150, $170, $200, can you imagine how much cheaper it is for a manufacturer to do it on a mass scale, where it's getting done by robots in a factory? That shit is cut down 10 times. That shit would cost them maybe, I don't know, 7, 10, maybe $20. God, maybe $20 fucking dollars. How come it's not a standard fucking feature? There is no needs or wants compromise. The reason that manufacturers do this is because they have a standard model, base model is just a piece of shit car. Like cloth seats, no options at all. I mean, they move all that up to higher models so they can take more of our money and hold those features hostage from us so we can pay more to have that shit. Do you want heated seats, or do you want to sit on a fucking, cold seat, on a leather cold seat in minus 30 fucking degrees? Yeah, because I come from Washington. It gets really fucking cold. And in summertime, do you want to get into a cold car, a nice air-conditioned car, or do you want to get into a hot leather car where the steering wheel is so fucking hot you can cook bacon on it and your ass is literally getting cooked by the hot seat? We're not asking for anything fucking amazing. We're not asking for spaceships. We're asking to put all those features on the car and charge a reasonable amount of money. That's it. It shouldn't cost us $40,000, $50,000 for a Honda fucking Civic that has those features. When I know some of you guys who are watching this stuff may not know, I know how truly cheap it is to implement all that shit, because I actually have friends in China that work directly with manufacturers, and they'll tell me how cheap it is to make all that shit. It is insanely cheap. Like, it's insanely cheap. Okay, next, government regulations. He's claiming that government regulations are stagnating the car progression. It's because of the government we can't have nice things. Really? Really? It's because of the government we don't have cars that are getting 50, 60, 70, 100 miles to a gallon without being an electric car, without having a hybrid system in it. That's because of fucking government. Really. For some reason, we're having cell phones develop that are fucking amazing, computers develop that are fucking amazing, we're getting smart fucking fridges, but we can't get a good fuel economy? We can't get a car that's getting 60, 70 miles to a gallon? Really? That is your fucking excuse for us not having good quality cars? That is your excuse? It's the government's fault. I mean, I don't like the government as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a huge fan of fucking North Korea or Venezuela. But if you're gonna be blaming government for not making shit happen in private sector, come on, that's a load of crap. Do not feed it to me because I ain't hungry for it. Okay, next, before I get too fucking crazy. He said we have to compromise on design. I'm gonna show you two cars. Both of them cost $30,000. Here's Mercedes, $30,000. And here's something else. Can you tell me which one looks nicer? Both of them cost $30,000. Can you tell me when one of them, the Mercedes, looks fucking amazing? That shit looks beautiful. And can you tell me why this turd looks like this? It may be a reliable turd. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It may be a reliable turd. But can you tell me what the fuck were the designers smoking, or maybe not smoking, when they were making this shit? How come Mercedes makes beautiful cars? How come Audi makes beautiful cars? BMW makes beautiful cars. But once we go to anything Japanese or American, that shit looks ugly as fuck. And I would think that here in America, we're getting fucking inspiration from 420. How come their shit looks nice, but here for Toyota, for Honda, for Mazda, for Hyundai, we're not getting cars that are beautiful. Do you know why? Because they simply don't give a fuck about it. It's simple as that. It's the difference between when you buy a cheeseburger at McDonald's and it looks as good as it is on the picture, or it looks like it fell from a roof and got driven over by a truck. Literally, I got some nice fast food from a person that cared about it. You know, when you have a friend working at fast food, you'll get a good looking cheeseburger. Or if you're going through drive-through, you're thinking that somebody might have dropped this thing and the other guy stepped on it. It's the amount of care that manufacturers are putting into our cars that we drive. Manufacturers don't give a fuck about us. Here's something else that you probably don't know about this, but you will. Did you know that back in the 80s, early 90s, there was a huge fight between car manufacturers and people? Car manufacturers refused to put airbags into fucking cars. They thought that airbags were not fucking necessary. It's okay if people are dying. It's okay if people are fucking getting into crashes and they're walking away with absolutely crazy fucking injuries, absolutely insane. That's okay. We're gonna save entire $200 on not putting airbags in. $200. Do you think it was worth $200 to put the fucking airbag into the car so somebody wouldn't break their fucking neck? The reason we have airbags right now is because people had to fucking fight the car manufacturers and threaten them with insane lawsuits for billions of dollars so they would put airbags in all of their fucking cars. If you think car manufacturers care about us, the actual end consumer, you have no idea about car manufacturers at all. You're like, they don't give a fuck about us at all. It is absolutely appalling. It's mind-blowing how some people on the internet couldn't be defending car manufacturers and telling us how it's so hard to make a fucking car. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up below and click the subscribe button over my head, or watch one of those two videos if you want to see more money-saving tips about cars. This is Dan with 60 Minute Car. I'm signing out, and I'll see you on the internet.